Good day to you, Guyana, and welcome to Facing the Nation. I am Malika Ramsey. Of course, it's good to be back after a 1 week break because, of course, last week was Good Friday and we don't do Facing the Nation on any of our religious holidays. So I trust that everyone would have had a great Easter and a wonderful Easter weekend and that you would have had lots of fun. And I know most of you now are in the middle of preparing the little ones for school come Monday for the new school term. So with the last few hours left in their Easter break, I trust that they will enjoy it some more and you ensure that you always keep them safe. Well, on today's program, we're dealing with two things. Of course, as I told you, as we continue to go closer to the Jubilee celebrations, Independence Jubilee celebrations, which the main day for that is 26th of May. We will continue to update you on what's happening, how government is preparing for that. Not only government, but other organizations and so on are preparing to welcome many guests. Not only welcome guests, but to make our own here at home feel comfortable and well prepared for the 50th Independence anniversary. Also on the program today, I can remember as a child growing up, we always heard about, well, we still hear about it, but as a child, you always knew somebody who was a part of the Scouts Association of Guyana. So today we're talking Scouts. It is interesting because they have some activities going on. We've been hearing about them in the last few months or so as they prepare for some of these activities. So they're here. Two members of the Scouts Association are here to talk about the work of the Scouts and remind you as to why it really is important, why the Scouts Association is important to our society. It is my pleasure to welcome Miss Domonique Vansluytman. She is the Deputy Commissioner of the Scouts Association of Guyana. Welcome to Facing the Nation.
Thank you.
And also the Deputy Chief Commissioner, Mr. Andrew Ramcharitar. Welcome to Facing the Nation, sir.
Thank you.
All right. I must say it's awesome to have both of you. Now, as I said before, there's been some quiet when it comes to the Scouts Association in terms of the work and so on. Let's talk about the role. What is the role of the Scouts Association of Guyana? Anyone?
Basically, the role of the Scouts Association of Guyana and Scouting Worldwide is to educate young people to become productive citizens in their society.
Okay. Do you find that in recent times, because I'm assuming you've been in this a long time as a child, am I assuming right? No?
No.
No, I'm not?
No. I've been in this for about 10 years.
About 10 years. Oh, that is a reasonably long time. Am I correct in my assumption that there is some quiet about the Scouts Association, or for want of a better phrase, it is not as important to people as it would have been when we were children, when we were growing up?
Okay, let me answer that. What is happening with Scouting? We are around. A lot of people may not know, but this year we will be 107 years old. And it is very good and interesting because World Scouting started in 1907, and just 2 years after, Guyana became a member of that body. So we're celebrating 107 years this year. Mm-hmm. What is happening? To answer your question, what is happening? Scouting is around Berbice, Linden, Georgetown, of course, and I can say as I'm sitting here, there are 3 groups that are going to camp today. That's the St. Stanislaus is going up to Madawini. They have left already. Buxton at St. Augustine, there is a scout group there. They are going to meet with their counterparts in Linden from the Linden Police Scout Group. They are camping in Amelia's ward at one of the grounds. So scouting is around, but for some reason we are not, what should I say? We are not, our presence are not being seen. It is on our strategy for this year, more visibility. So
how do you plan to achieve the visibility? And I'm going to come back to the schools just now because you did mention St. Stanislaus and so on. But how do you plan to achieve more visibility?
Being through the program, we will do expansion. We are doing some exhibits around the place. I can safely say to you, and you just mentioned it when you started the program, 50th anniversary. We were kind of mandated to do something for the 50th anniversary, and it is our plans. It is there actually to have a huge exhibit of scouting
On
the Merriman's Mall, providing we have the permission to use the Merriman's Mall. So that's one of our strategies to get more publicity and such things.
If I can come back to the schools, is there a special arrangement where most of, if not all of our schools are connected with the association, so it would be easier for you to, in a sense, pull membership?
Okay, I can answer again. In my young days, I'm not too old, that is.
I was about to say, I know what you're talking about.
Almost every school had a scout group, as well as the churches. Down in the 80s, something went wrong that I don't want to say. Not from our end. And scouting had taken a dip. Now we are trying to get it back to where it is. Again, as I speak to you, the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs has asked to partner with us. We're supposed to do a proposal for them to get scouting into the hinterlands, which I think is very good because we can do cross reference, as in we learn the culture of the Amerindians more, I should say, and they learn our culture, if you want to call it, in Georgetown.
All right. Okay, I'll give Andrew a rest for a bit, even though he's doing a great job. Domonique, let's talk a bit about your role in the Scouts Association.
My role in the association is basically the administrative role in terms of keeping everybody intact with the communications and what is going on nationally, what's going on internationally, training programs, national activities, camps, any training in terms of like first aid,
keeping the groups together.
Keeping the groups together, keeping all the records intact, and so on.
How many groups are there? Can anyone?
Offhand, right now it's about 15.
15, and they spread across the country.
Yeah.
All right, Domonique, can you just mentioned the fact that you are updated on what's going on internationally and so on as it links to our own Scouts Association here. Are there programs coming up, and does the Scouts Association facilitate a sort of exchange programs whereby we can, especially with the Caribbean in general, where we can penetrate each other's cultures in a sense? Because I know that's important for young people.
I think Andrew wants to jump in here.
I can answer that. I think, yes, we do have, we what you call belong to the Inter-American region.
Okay.
So the world body has divided scouting into regions. We are in the Inter-American region, so we do have intermingling with or intermixing with the Caribbean and so. As of Monday, you mentioned training and international events and so on. So, last year we were in Japan for the Jamboree, World Jamboree that is. It was about 45,000.
45,000.
About 45,000 scouts, of which Guyana had
10
10 members, myself, Dom, and 8 youth members from around the country, not just from one group. The previous year we were in Curacao for the Caribbean coverage. But for the young people, the young adult, as in our young leaders, yes, we do have training. We had as late as of December, 2 of our young members, 19 years old, were in Guatemala for international leaders training. I myself will be out from Monday in Trinidad.
Okay, so
all
I
these
caught
are
you at the
training.
right time.
Yeah. So we do have the connections, and I must say, having all these training courses and all these communications, as Dom is saying about, it has put Guyana on the map. Believe you me. There was a time, I can tell you, in 2007, I was in England at World Jamboree again, and when we are saying to people we're from Guyana, you mean Ghana? So we had to say Guyana, South America. So scouting is putting our country on the map.
All right,
If you want
fabulous.
to say so.
Viewers, if you're now tuning in, this is Facing the Nation. Today we're talking about the Scouts Association of Guyana, and we'll also, a little later on in the program, be giving you a Jubilee update. And this time, in giving you that Jubilee update, we'll be focusing on the bed and breakfast program. So, of course, continue to stay with us. Let's talk about age now, Andrew and Dominique. How young can you be, and how old can you be?
You can be as young as 7 years old and as old as, I don't know. I don't
me,
want
probably.
like him.
And
maybe.
older.
And older.
Okay.
I
Officially?
think
Sorry.
we had an elderly lady about in her 50s or 60s
Okay.
who came on board. with us.
Okay, so there are usually set aside tasks for.
Yeah.
in
Let me
terms
give
of-
you the official, if you want to say age. We have 3 sections. They are 7 to 11, where we call the Cub Scout. And we have 11 to 15, those are the Explorer Scout. And 15 to 19, that's the Venture Scout. They are differentiated by, of course, age and the colors of their uniform. 7 to 11 wear a yellow top, black bottom. Explorers, it's a green top and black bottom. And the Ventures, it's
Turquoise
top and black bottom. After 19, then we start thinking of you in leadership.
Okay, so you go in at the age of 7. You can actually stay
Go straight
right through your
Yeah.
entire life.
Yeah.
In it.
Yeah.
All right.
It's actually entire life, because I have seen, again, from experience, I have seen 90, 95-year-olds that are wearing Scout uniforms still.
Okay, all right.
Of course, not here.
Well, hopefully we'll get there, because Guyana is rapidly developing.
Yeah.
In anything, any organization, any group, finance is always important. And I can think back to November of 2015 when His Excellency became a patron of the Scouts Association. Of course, we read in the news that the subvention now for the association would be 1.2 million annually beginning 2016. Let's talk about where funds like that, what that would go to in the association, and apart from that, where else do you get funds from to keep the association going?
Basically, it goes towards programming. It goes towards the development of the association in terms of the building, making it more accessible for the scouts, the infrastructure of the building, and I think more likely for this year, a lot of it will go towards an international event that we're having in July, which is the Caribbean Coverage, where we're hosting about 8 or 9 9 countries.
Oh, they're all coming here.
They're all coming here. It's registration so far is almost close to 1,000 persons.
And that's
wow.
youth
Yes,
members,
youth
7 to 11
members.
we're talking about.
Right, so when you get to the others, what happens?
Well, this year is just for the Cub Scouts.
Just for the Cubs.
Yes. So it's just gonna be 7 to 11-year-olds coming here from Suriname, Trinidad, Curacao, Barbados, Antigua, Saint Vincent. Yeah, Jamaica.
So we
as
have
well.
to be doing something good, because In 2007, we had, for our 100th anniversary, we had the Caribbean Jamboree here, which was for the bigger ones. The
Actually, that was in 2009.
2009,
2009.
sorry. 11 to 19.
Yeah.
And now we are hosting the 7-11. It's something that is very important to us.
It is. Well, let me take the opportunity to congratulate you on that now. And of course, I hope to have, if not yourselves, someone back on as we move closer to that
Definitely.
event. I mean, it's not to put a damper on it, but again, these issues do come up from time to time. How difficult or how easy it is to recruit members? Do you even go to, for want of a better term, do you go after persons to recruit them to be a part of the Scouts, or do you prefer to have them just come to you, and how can they come to you?
Okay. Let me answer if it's okay.
Yeah, your expansion.
Good,
so
you're
go
seeking
right
permission
ahead.
from the female. I like that.
We normally people come to us because we're spread so wide. There's no one time, we can go to the people. Our human resources is kind of limited. So people will call us, or somebody may, refer somebody to us. What is some of the hardship or difficulties, if you want to call it so? The lesson syndrome. Most scout groups meet on a Friday or a Saturday, and then you don't get your full membership. Sometimes there's youth members that want to be scout, but because of the lessons and the timing, and so they cannot. Or activities that we will have. Most of our activities are outdoors, and because all of us are volunteers, as in volunteers without pay or stipend or anything.
Yeah.
We work. So the time that is convenient is weekend. Probably Friday afternoon to Sunday afternoon. And then these youth members will have lessons, and so that's one of the difficulties. Volunteer on the whole, even in leadership, and that is in our age group kind of, people is looking for pay.
Yeah.
So when they hear they're not getting pay, it gets difficult to recruit. Sometimes they come to the first training because you may not be a scout, Malika, but we trained you. We teach you all that you need to know within a period of time, probably in a year or two. So it's not that because you never know anything about scouting, you cannot be a scout. We do ongoing training. So after the first session of training or so, then people hear that we don't get paid. You don't see them back anymore.
Yeah,
But that's a
unfortunately,
difficulty. Yeah,
unfortunately, it's because society, the world, life, it's just become about, the bread and butter issues and getting paid, and people are always on the go, so you don't want to
it's
break.
not only Guyana, because we interact with our counterparts, and we discuss these difficulties, and in most times these are the things. But some countries are a little better off resources wise. So.
Okay. All right. It certainly was a pleasure chatting with both of you, but I'm not going to let you off the hook that easily. Before you, she said shocks. Before you go, again, you did mention the fact that so many of them are coming here in July for that CUPS program. Are there any other activities coming up that you may like to mention before I let you go from today's discussion?
Not at present. I think we have what we would have is a pre-Cobbery camp for our contingent who will
as a
be
host country.
And they will just be basically taking part in activities similar to what may be being
Happening
done at the Cobbery.
Okay.
Just so we can get an idea of logistical stuff and so on. But aside from that, we don't have anything prior to the Cobbery. But after that, we'll have back to
The regular programs
leadership
and so
training, activities for the kids.
You find the preparations that you put them through, before I let you go, you find that the preparations indeed, I know you did say the intention is for them to become, productive citizens, productive adults, but do you find that young people I'm specifically focusing on the youth here, because we keep saying that our young people are going down a path that we don't
Yeah.
necessarily like. Do you find that the few who are currently getting involved in the Scouts, that it's a sense of stabilizing them and ensuring that they stay focused? Do you find that?
Yes, there are success stories in that. I can say to you, you see, I deal more with them than them, so that's why I'm answering most of the time.
That's all right.
The last cadet corps that came out, I think, was last month from the army. There was a scout in there from Linden, police scout group. And of course, I saw him on social media, so I congratulated him and so. And we were talking scouting, and he said to me, he said, scouting has done really a lot for me in this way. You know, his discipline. As of yesterday, I was talking, I don't know, you may know Gavin Mendonça. You know, he was a scout. And he was saying to me, I had a meeting with him actually, and he was saying to me, you know, Andrew, even in music, Scout has done something for me. It has learned me discipline and such things. So it is a positive, and these are the things that makes us happy. You know, these are our reward, seeing a Scout. You may not get all of them to be, you know, the right way, but
it's a start.
It's what makes us happy.
Okay.
We see it too that the kids come into the system, they're shy. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to talk to anybody. They don't want to interact with the others. And then after maybe a couple of months with them, they're like the boldest person that you'd ever
They
meet.
loosen up.
You know?
Well, indeed,
So,
it is doing good. And I just want to thank both of you for coming. Of course, the Deputy Commissioner of the Scout Association of Guyana, Domonique Vansluytman, and the Deputy Chief Commissioner, Andrew Ramcharitar. Thank you so very much for being. I've certainly been reminded about the importance of Scouts today, and I trust that the viewers would take up the offer to get, especially those of you with younger children and so on running around the house, and especially on weekends when there's nothing for them to do. I trust that you will ensure that they get involved in the Scouts Association.
Thank you, Malika.
Thank
But
you.
if I may,
Sure, you may.
We didn't talk anything about contact. There is volunteers at our Scout office. Our numbers there are 225325. That's the office number.
All right, I will remind them. Where is the office located?
Wolford Avenue. I'm
Wolford
sorry.
Avenue. That's all right. That's all right. Thank you so very much.
Thank you,
All
ma'am.
right,
Thank you.
viewers, we'll take a quick break. Coming up on the other side of the break, we are going to talk bed and breakfast, and that is in preparation for the Jubilee celebrations that we're expecting, the big Jubilee celebrations that everyone's talking about coming up in May. Stay with Facing the Nation.